Tyler, bring it back upstairs so we don't lose it. Thank you.
Is the camera for recording something?
Yeah.
Like you told me last time that we're gonna record the skit.
We're going to record so your parents can see how you behave.
Oh, okay.
No, it's for people who are not here.
Oh.
So they can
Is
catch
this like
us.
spring break in
Yeah.
some of the suburbs or something?
Yeah. We have a lot of CPS kids, so. Yeah, Mr. Cole and Carl both. Hey, how you doing, Jake?
Good.
How's the play?
It was fun. It was good.
It's good?
Yeah.
Josh should be here. You can wait.
Matthew said he would be here. So was Lyle. Lyle's gonna be here too. Mr. Phil.
Good thing we're not performing. Yes. Oh, yeah, let's see. Awesome.
I have papers off.
Awesome.
Oh, pretty.
Very good. For finished. Nice. Thank you.
Is that next week?
No, next week is Forsaken.
Oh.
5 minutes?
Awesome. Thank you, Mary. Good job. Good work. So, I decided to give you guys some help for those who need sermon notes.
I have 3 by the end. I'll have 4 actually by the end of the service.
All right, good. You can do these, and I cut off the answers. You get sermon note credit.
For doing
That is for last week. All right, you can do all these. Put your name on it.
yeah.
Cole, you don't need to do this.
No, I'm good. I'm taking out as good and not a break.
Cole should do one for me, and then it counts as one.
No.
Alright.
I actually have 2 of them here. It's this week's and last week's.
Wait, can I do 2 word searches? And it'll
Well, I
count.
have 2 of them here.
So it'll count as 2?
Yeah. I cut the answers off. You got to fill out everything, both pages, and it has to be thoughtful. Okay. In order to get credit, you can't just pencil whip it. We had an awesome lesson on the Good Samaritan today. Good. You guys know what the Good Samaritan is about?
No.
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it too.
What's the gist? Anybody know? No? Well, back in Jesus' time, Samaritans were looked down upon by the Jews. It kind of ties into like racial things, you know, of like our times.
Were they like different races?
Yeah, and they believed different things, and it was a parable, right, Pastor? All right, so a Jewish fellow got robbed, and he was beaten up, and he was left for dead by the side of the road. And all these people, like 2 people passed him by and didn't offer him any help. They were Jewish people. One was kind of like a wealthy guy, and the other, I think, was a mom and a kid.
And one was a priest.
One was a priest, yeah. And a Samaritan walked by, and, you know, who wouldn't be caught dead with a Jew back then. And he helped him out, got him medical help, got him food. And Jesus talked about helping others even when it's highly unlikely for you to help them. So it can tie into now. Think of someone you can help that you would never help in a million years.
Well, I'm thinking about you. I'm kidding. You're not. You ain't giving me anything. I don't know.
How you doing, Eliza? Good.
What website did you get this from?
Do the work on your own. You have an opportunity to gain 2 sermon notes. If you do these.
right there. It is whispered.
Dude, you know it's a joke, right?
I don't know about from you, Tyler. I don't know if that's a joke.
I've never had such a good diet.
You have some of those. I'll take them home.
I don't know what happened. It was all after
Well,
the
those bags are from Five Below, so.
They were nice bags until Lutherdale happened. Like, just,
I didn't bring mine over here.
I brought mine to carry stuff. I don't know, because it's a nice bag, and then it just collapsed.
All right, let's go over highs and lows, huh?
20 pounds of Bible books in it.
Anyone want to start highs and lows? Go ahead.
Alright, so my high is that a bunch of our teachers at school are doing like the March Madness thing.
Oh,
It's really
God.
funny about that. Tyler, I'm sure you don't like it. And then my low is that this week has kind of gone by kind of fast. We had like a bunch of tests 2 days ago.
So they're in the March Madness, like what? What are they
We're
doing?
just doing like a competition out of all the teachers and about March Madness. Every time when they're like in the hallway or like other classes, they always argue about stuff.
About the basketball game?
Yeah.
Miss
Like, how
Morrison
teams are
came
better.
up to me and it,
Yeah, we have this one teacher named Miss Morrissey, and she kind of gets into a lot of people's business with like random stuff. Like if you know about, like if you play sports,
Sorry.
then she'll
The
instantly tell you and ask
Zajac
about basketball and
children?
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Is someone picking them up or?
You should be here at 6, yeah.
Okay.
I told the dad to come back at 6.
Okay. All right, just checking. Well, thank you, sir.
All right.
I appreciate that.
So, yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay. Who's next?
I think it's that way.
All right.
Okay, my high is that the weather's getting warmer. And my low is that I don't like the anticipation of going to DC. We're going to DC next
For your 8th grade trip.
I don't go to
week. So I will not be here.
June.
That's cool. See,
Oh, no.
you can earn a sermon note if you find some kind of religion on your trip, some kind of
Wait,
message,
I'm going there.
and write about it. All right?
We won't have confirmation in May, right?
We do. That's when we're going to be ending. You guys are going to be confirmed in May.
What week in May?
May 19th?
That's my DC trip.
Or
They
what?
go in like the month.
Have your mom talk to me.
Mine's in June, so.
Is this for the-
Yeah, hey guys, if you're going somewhere and you want to get credit for it, write a paper about it. How you saw religion or how you saw Lutheranism, write about it. I'll give you credit. Pastor, want to share a high and low?
I had my birthday yesterday,
Oh.
and that was a high, and my wife made me a birthday cake, which was really good, and we went to Carson's for ribs, which I really like, and I, ate the whole full slab, it was really good. So that was, I don't have a low, but that was my high.
That's great.
Happy late birthday. Will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, my high was I got to go out with my friends in Wisconsin this last weekend. And it's good to get away and not have to get somebody a snack or a juice or just to kind of be on my own. That was my high, and my low is I'm not really feeling well right now.
Oh, really?
Jake,
My high is a high and a low. I find out first round for high school. The first round of what high schools accept me, and then I can write a letter if I don't get in. But I'm like a little bit nervous, and I don't know where to go.
for Lane?
Yeah, Lane Shy Arts.
Oh, Shy Arts, yeah.
Here.
You'd be good in Shy Arts. It's your acting. Lane is good too. Taft is good as well.
So St. Pat's.
Is that your high, that you're going to St. Pat's?
Well, could be one of them. And my low is I ate too much food. And then I played
Yeah.
basketball. And my other high is I beat them in a 2-0.
We had like 2 minutes. So we couldn't even do it.
And I beat you 2-0. Actually 3-0. Cause
Aren't you a basketball player though?
No.
Yeah. I don't play basketball.
Are you going to Taft for high school or are you going to Lane?
I'm I really want to stay at Taft because it's close, and I want to do the IB program. Since I'm already in the IB program.
You can just go right in, you got a free pass? But did you test for Lane?
Yeah, I did. We get our scores on
Just like Jane. How about you, Colt? You're gonna go to Taft?
Yeah, I'm gonna try IB program because my grades are pretty solid.
Your
so-
brother's not in that, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, is he?
IB. He does like AP classes and stuff.
Your brother's been a ghost, I haven't seen him. Tell him to come by.
He's always out with like Nolan. That's the thing.
Is he?
Yeah, he's always out with Nolan.
I
Whenever
missed
I get home, he's not there, and my dad's like, "Oh, he's out with Nolan today," and I'm like, "Oh."
They're in trouble. Oh, the other Skyber isn't here. I was going through the office, and I wanted to give Nolan's first communion certificate.
Yeah.
About what? It's 8 years too late.
Can I call Josh and ask him if he's coming?
No, if he's not here, it's okay.
Please, it's funny when I call him. He gets so. He gets so mad. I will. He gets so mad at me. It's so funny. He's like, "Why are you calling me?" With like his deep voice.
Does have a
He's
deep
like,
voice.
"Why are you calling me?"
All right, so today's lesson is about Article 3 of what? What have we been discussing?
Pentecostalism.
What is Article 3 about? And what does Article 3 belong to?
The Holy Spirit nurtures us. No, that's not it.
Apostles' Creed.
Apostles' Creed, right. So what's the first article about?
God the Father.
God the Father. What's second?
Creator of
There's
heaven.
the Son.
Oh yeah.
Son, and the third is the Holy Spirit.
And what does a creed mean?
A creed is a statement of belief.
And do we say it every church service?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we do. And it is ancient, written by the apostles, they say, well, or close to it. So the third article is about the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit shows up in the Bible a lot, and he's around Jesus a lot. And I just wanted to show you this. It's it's a video about the Pentecostal faith, and they really value the Holy Spirit. Like, that's their main thing, right, Pastor?
Yep.
Okay. Correct me if
Pentecostalism is a fairly modern branch of Christianity, which can be traced back to the holiness movement of the Methodist Church. This faith is centered on the belief of spiritual gifts bestowed by the Holy Spirit. Pentecostalism takes its name from the Christian festival of Pentecost, which was the Greek name for the Jewish Feast of Harvest, or Feast of Weeks. The Christian Pentecost, then, was a holiday taking place 50 days after Easter, which commemorates the episode after Jesus' death and resurrection, and is described in the Bible that the disciples were filled with the Holy Spirit of God and spoke in tongues, strange utterances interpreted as divine language. This phenomenon was recognized in the early church as a sign of God's presence, although later the church came to view this event as ending when the first disciples died. Speaking in tongues disappeared for a long time until the turn of the 20th century, when groups of North American Christians began to experience what they viewed as the Holy Spirit and brought speaking tongues back to the mainstream. The most influential was the Azusa Street Revival in Los Angeles in 1906, led by African-American preacher William Joseph Seymour, notable for spanning the racial divide. Devotees united in their experience of the Spirit, which initially overruled any notion of hierarchy, priesthood, or privilege. There is a sub-branch of Pentecostalism that also emerged in the 1960s called Charismatic Christianity, which not only is focused on the gifts of the Holy Spirit, but embraces these divine gifts and the seemingly paranormal phenomenon that takes place in their lives, such as tongues, prophesying, and supernatural healing. Pentecostals continue to speak in tongues, and some see this as a sign of their salvation as Christians. Others view it as a second blessing, a confirmation of being one with God's people, following the initiation of baptism. Combined with charismatic Christianity, Pentecostalism is the fastest growing branch of Christianity, with only 6% of Christians in the year 1980, which today has turned to 26%, making up over a quarter of all Christians. Some Pentecostals believe in spiritual warfare, which refers to the struggle Christians are called to in battling evil powers alongside the power of God. This is an expression in prayer over those thought to be in possession by demons, calling upon God to heal the sick. This reflects a restorationist dimension. Pentecostals see themselves as restoring the church to its original form, when Christians drove out demons and healed the sick, following in the example of Jesus.
So yeah, they go a little extreme with their movements and stuff. They're kind of like the ones you see on TV evangelists. Sorry about the lights.
Except one of the differences is in some ways on that first Pentecost, when they spoke all these languages. Part of that was like they were like foreign languages, so they could bring the gospel to all these different countries. And it wasn't necessarily, I would argue, this strange kind of stuff. It was that suddenly people were able to hear, if you came from whatever country, the miracle was that you were able to hear the gospel in your own language. And so I would argue that whenever missionaries go out or whatever, they learn foreign languages and they're able to translate the Bible's message so that people can understand in different countries. That's also kind of speaking in tongues. That would be.
And I don't know if you guys remember the spiritual gifts test last year. Speaking in tongues was one of the one of the questions. The one they took this year is more designed for kids, and yeah, and the spiritual gifts thing was what drew me to that video. Is the Pentecost really rely on what your gifts are, and they put you in a spot in church where you will shine and where you could be more help. And that's kind of what the spiritual gifts test is for you. You can take that test, if you take it truthfully and you answer it truthfully, you can kind of like put yourself in a spot where God can shine through you. Like some people don't want to be up in front of a group, like Mr. Tyler. Maybe Tyler works better with his hands, behind the scenes, helping out. Some people like to be up in front. I don't mind it, and I never knew this until I started working here. I mean, I always knew I could speak in front of a group, but I never knew, and God talks through me. And that's what the spiritual gifts is mostly about. So let's open up with a prayer here. It's so quiet in here. I'm not used to it being this quiet.
Well, yeah, because there's usually Josh talking.
All right, let's begin. Lord, at Pentecost,
You poured the Holy Spirit into the church.
Lord, at our baptism,
You poured the Holy Spirit onto us.
Holy Spirit,
Guide us.
Holy Spirit,
Comfort us.
Holy Spirit,
Renew, refresh, and revitalize us to do the
this is the
will
will of God. Amen. So as we look at this third article, we could kind of we'll review on where we see the Holy Spirit in the Bible and what it means, what the Holy Spirit, what He does for us, through us, and He really helped Jesus out a lot. I mean, when Jesus needed the Holy Spirit, He was there. And whenever you read how Jesus was shining, or the Holy Spirit was with Him, that was when God wanted people really to see Jesus shine, and that was the Holy Spirit's doing. He was there when Jesus got baptized, remember? In the form of what? How was he there? He's an animal.
Or
He's an animal.
a deer.
No. Flying. What kind of bird? A white dove, right. And a dove is a big symbol of the Holy Spirit that we use all the time. All right, so let's see if we can play charades. All right, you guys want to play charades? We try to act out the word that I give you.
Maybe for like the last 20 minutes of this class until we go upstairs, because no one's here, we go outside. Go.
I respectfully agree. After we play charades, though.
No, we got we got a lesson to do. But we'll end at like 1:45 so we can get ready to go upstairs. All right, pick out a word. Pick one of these. If you can get us to say the word without saying it, you get a candy.
Oh. Like an easy one.
Without talking. Oh wait, I'll give one out to everybody so you can start thinking about it. All right, you ready? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I know what it is, so I'm not going to say it. Start guessing.
I have no clue.
I don't know.
Cha-cha style?
I have no clue. We're waving.
Should I do the smart one?
Sometimes not.
Blowing the wind.
Bam!
Actually?
Wind!
I
Nice.
was thinking wind, but I thought it was gonna be like
That's gonna be like
Bible.
That's it.
Yeah.
something
Wind
Bible.
is-
something.
Wait, do I get a candy bar though?
No, she gets one because she made me
What?
say it.
I guessed it though!
The Holy Spirit
I
was like the wind going over the vast wastelands.
I was gonna
Good
say the
job.
Holy
Shouldn't have said
Spirit, but I
anything.
didn't say it.
I was thinking like
But it was wind though.
Alright, nobody guessed if Colton would get a candy bar.
You're mean, dude.
Oh, this was easy.
Let's see.
There you go.
Oh, it's so easy.
There you go. Yeah.
Great!
There you go.
All right.
Easy.
You got the luck of the draw there.
You're welcome.
Candy?
I just gave both you guys
Ready,
candy.
candy?
You're the actor.
Get skipped.
Come on, the star players.
All right, without talking now.
Welcome to our church for offering Jesus TV. Are you pointing to the TV?
Jesus? The Holy Spirit?
Over there?
Think. We're talking about the Holy Spirit. We're thinking of the Holy Spirit. Think what the Holy Spirit does.
Guides us?
Give it.
Bam!
But when
Nice.
I say two, I don't get a bam! Watch,
I
nobody's
kind
gonna
of got
guess
this
this.
when you said that. So.
All right.
They're never gonna guess this. No, can I get a different one?
Just try it.
They're never gonna get this.
Just try it.
No, they're never gonna get this.
Just try
They're
it, man.
not
Let's see
No,
your
tell me what
chops.
it is. They're not gonna get this. How am I
Getting
supposed to?
candy bar.
How am I supposed to act this out? I can't act that
Yes,
out.
you can do it.
Okay,
There's
Tyler,
some
that's
number of
karma
ways.
for what you tried to do to Cole.
Dude, I gave both you guys candy bars. You can't even say that.
There's a number of ways.
It's just, how am I supposed to act that out? That's impossible.
Think of what it says and any stories that might be involved with.
I know there's stories with this person in it, but I don't know what stories there are.
All right, come on. Come here, grab another.
I don't know how to act it out. It's Peter.
Well, don't. Oh,
Oh.
don't say it.
Oh, that would be hard though.
I know, but you could do like that.
I don't think we know, but I don't think I would.
All right, before you begin, Jesus was denied. They asked Peter. He was standing outside where Jesus was getting crucified, and all that stuff was happening. and he was asked 3 times if he knew Jesus. And on the 3rd time, Jesus predicted it too. He said, on the 3rd time, you will denounce me. Not denounce, or what was it? It was denounce me. You will hear the crow of the rooster.
Is this like one of those? I still don't know what this is.
You got this.
Come on, man.
This doesn't even sound like it was
You got this, Tyler.
Do it.
Tyler, everyone else has did it. Come on.
We hold
No,
back.
You got
it's what we had for community. It's
Sandwich.
You can't talk.
Oh, come on. Just act it out.
you can't. You literally can't.
You do this with everything that's hard?
No.
Yes.
No. You do not know what's on this poster though.
Come on, man.
Okay, I'm gonna show you.
This is the 2nd time.
I'm gonna
You're
show you
going
this.
off there. This is the 2nd time.
He wants the candy bar.
That was I knew it. It says order subs on it.
That's so funny. That was my note to myself to order subs. Here.
I knew that
Oh, that's so funny. I'm glad we got that on tape. I'm like, dude, just do it.
Get it on tape.
All right,
I was thinking
can you do this one?
I was thinking of like ringing a phone and like. Wait, hold on. I still don't know how to act this out. None of these you can act out. I'm not kidding.
I'm so happy this is on camera.
Do it.
All right, come here. I don't want you to have anxiety over it. Come here.
I don't know how
Okay,
to act this out.
so-
All of these I don't know how to act.
He just gets a free pass.
No, and you got to try.
Okay.
Finally.
This is so really good.
Can I have sound effects?
You got the piano upstairs.
Okay. Holy shit. Let's see. I still don't. Oh. I just want a candy bar. Come on.
Fire.
You got it.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
You got it.
Come on, candy bar.
All right.
Winter 3.
Which one of the words? The other words was apostle, Peter,
Oh, Papa, you can just like.
And order subs.
order subs. Yeah.
Subs.
Peter was one of them.
How
I was
is this in the
so
Bible?
confused because I
So,
didn't want to look like an
The
idiot.
words were
2
wind,
times in a
fire,
row.
prayer, Peter, apostles, and guide. Which ones were the hardest to act out? I don't have a good selection.
This one was pretty easy. I got like the
probably
easiest
Peter.
one.
Yeah, Peter, how are you supposed to like?
Like I said, well, you can make sound effects like,
I didn't know that.
well, now you know. Sometimes it's not about getting it, it's about just like learning the lesson.
Okay, you learned the lesson from Victor.
Why do you think these words
Lesson to
are related to our lesson today about the 3rd article? Why would these words be chosen?
The Holy Spirit contains all of them? Or like he controls all of them? Emotionally?
Or represented by them?
About like the
How is the Holy Spirit represented by fire? Or I mean by wind?
because it's like, it's just like,
Was it
it's
like
kind
a
of just
calling?
there.
It's an invisible force.
Yeah, it kind
Okay.
of just like roam.
What about fire?
Powerful?
What we just see the video? Video we just watched, the fire was on top of the apostles' heads. That's Pentecost. After Easter,
The feast.
do you guys know the story of Pentecost?
Kind of. A little. Isn't that the feast after?
He just said that.
I believe Jesus had already ascended, right, Pastor?
Yep.
So Jesus went up to heaven, and the apostles were all gathering around. They were in one room together. And all of a sudden, a force came down. Was it tongues? Tongues came down from heaven. And everybody in the room had a flame on top of their head. And they started speaking in different languages. But yet they all understood each other. And like Pastor said, they were meant to go out and spread the word to all other countries and in different languages. So that's Pentecost. That's how the Holy Spirit is represented by fire. Okay? Now, why would guide be? Why would guide be a word? Jake's word. Why would we use that while talking about the Holy Spirit? There you go, yeah.
Well, it guides us to a connection with God.
Yeah. Exactly. Why would apostles be? Why apostles?
Isn't the Holy Spirit guide them to Jesus' help?
Yeah. Say that. And Pastor, I'm having a hard time with Peter. I don't know why the lesson had Peter in there. Why?
Well, because if everybody wants to turn to Acts 2, are you going to do that later?
I think we are. Well, let's do it now.
Because after this, well, yeah, actually, let's look at that kind of thing. And then Peter gives a sermon. That's why they're talking about Peter.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is in my, I explained Acts 2, okay. Go to Acts chapter 2.
I'm gonna lesson
We're right in the middle of our lesson here.
I know, it was M&M's, the chocolate. Can't eat that.
Acts is after the Gospels. You guys know what the Gospels are, right? What are the Gospels? You guys know?
Hold on, I'm trying to find this page.
Anyone know what the Gospels are in the Bible?
What page is it?
Anyone? What are the Gospels? What are the Gospels in the Bible? Anyone know? They're in the New Testament.
Matthew, Luke, John.
You got it. Good. And Acts is right after. Go ahead, Jake, start reading.
I didn't get to the page here.
It's 1795.
17.
You got it, Tyler. Go ahead.
From the promise of the Holy Spirit.
Chapter 2.
When the day of Pentecost had come, they were all together in one place, and suddenly from heaven there came a sound like the rush of violent wind, and it filled the entire house where they were sitting. Divided tongues as of fire appeared among them, and a tongue rested on each of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other languages, as the Spirit gave them ability. So keep going.
Yeah.
Now there were devout Jews from every nation under heaven living in Jerusalem. And at the sound the crowd gathered and had all things in common. They would sell their possessions and goods and distribute the proceeds to all as any had need. Day by day, as they spent much time together in the temple, they built.
Where are we?
Did you skip Jude or a page?
Page?
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
skipped one.
skipped the page. Right.
Go back to Bewildered,
Is that just the next one?
Yeah. They were
1798.
stuck together. Bewildered because each one heard them speaking in the native language of each. Amazed and astonished, they asked, "Are not all these who are speaking Galileans? And how is it that we hear each of us in our own native language?" Parthians, Medes,
Pastor, how do you say that?
Parthians, Medes, Elamites, residents of Mesopotamia, Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia, Egypt and the parts of Libya belonging to Cyrene and visitors from Rome. I love it when we do this in church.
I know.
And you know, if you get some reader, and maybe they're going to be surprised that they're going to get this one, and they take a look at all those words as, wow.
I've been hit with that before.
Have you? Have you?
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish off. Cretans.
Cretans and Arabs, in our own language, as we hear them speaking about God's deeds with power. All were amazed and perplexed, saying to one another, "What does this mean?" But others sneered and said, "They are filled with new wine."
So, what does that mean? So those last couple of lines, that's other people in the town talking about the apostles. They are all filled with new wine. What does that mean? What does it mean they think they are?
They're different.
Drunk.
Oh.
I mean, when you all of a sudden start talking a new language and you can understand everybody around you, everyone's going to think you're crazy, right? So yeah, that is why we hear about the Holy Spirit being represented by fire, being represented by wind, because you have both of those in there. And the tongues was a sign that you can now speak another language. And they were all talking about God's power, and everyone understood them. They all understood each other. Yes?
So wouldn't fire represent power? Because like then they be able to understand it.
Sure, I can see that. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was probably used for effect, so people would be like, what the heck is this? Again, you're not going to put like a flower on their head. You know, you're not going to douse water on them.
Do people still say, "Oh, you're all fired up"?
Oh, yeah.
That means you're really excited about something. I mean,
Let's get fired up.
Do you hear? Does that still being used? That kind of phrase? Well, that's kind of what's happening here. Is they all got kind of energized and excited. And, yep.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to John chapter 14. John is a gospel, right? And what does the gospel do? Tells the story of Jesus, right?
Perspectives.
Yep. There are 4 accounts of Jesus' life.
John 17.
John chapter 14.
17:52.
And go to verse 15 and to 17.
Chapter 14.
Yep. Verse 15 and 17.
And
15 to 17.
Wait,
I got it.
Go ahead.
wait.
Okay. The promise
The what page is it? I think I messed up.
17.
Oh,
The promise of the Holy Spirit. If you love me, you will keep my commandments, and I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to be with you forever. This is the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it neither receives him nor knows him. You know him, because he abides with you, and he will be in you.
So this is Jesus speaking before his death and resurrection. And we're supposed to come up with a definition of counselor. What is the definition of counselor?
Or is it a council? Like
And what does the camp counselor do? Leader?
Like an advocate to.
Yeah, great
like a
word.
Helper to like other people.
That's a great word, Colt. Advocate. And what does advocate do?
I think advocate kind of like help people.
Well, and an advocate kind of, it speaks for a cause, right? Like I'm an advocate for, helping dogs in a shelter. And I want, instead of going to a breeder, I would rather you go to a rescue and get a dog there. So I'm an advocate for rescue dogs, right? Or I'm an advocate for public schools. I want teachers to get all the funds they need I want kids to have all the materials they need, so I'm going to advocate for public schools. So the Holy Spirit is an advocate for us to God. Or, I'm sorry, to God for us. The Holy Spirit is going to guide us to God. That's what that means. Okay, on 1781, right next to this, we're going to look for faith reflection. Read the faith reflection. On the sidebar here. It says another advocate. Can someone read that on the side?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This name for the Spirit is unique to John's Gospel. In Greek, the word is
Paraclete.
Paraclete, which means one who is called alongside. The word can also be translated helper, comforter, encourager, and intercessor.
So, my research for this, I've heard the Holy Gospel, the Holy Spirit, be compared to the breath around you. It's everywhere you go, anything you do. Right? So when you're in class and you see somebody doing something they're not supposed to, like cheating off a test, the Holy Spirit's there telling you, don't do it, man. Don't do it. It's like your good conscience. You ever see those cartoons? When you have a good conscience and a bad conscience? The guy in the angel suit and the guy in the devil suit? The Holy Spirit is your angel suit, telling you, leading you down the right path. It's that inner voice telling you which way you should go, how you should act. All right, let's go to we already read that. Go to 1798. Page 1798.
Peter just of the crowd.
Lutheran Perspective Sidebar. See, what is the work of the Holy Spirit? You guys see that on the sidebar?
Yeah.
Want to read that, Cole?
Alright. What is the work of the Holy Spirit? Lutherans believe that we come to faith, remain in faith, and live our lives of faith by the power of the Holy Spirit. In his explanation of the third article of the Apostles' Creed, Martin Luther taught, the Holy Spirit has called me through the gospel, enlightened me with his gifts, made me holy and kept me in the true faith, just as he calls, gathers, enlightens, and makes holy the whole Christian church on earth, and keeps with Jesus Christ in one common true faith.
What is the work of the Holy Spirit? I mean, how do you see the Holy Spirit at work in your life? Has it ever occurred to you that the Holy Spirit is there? Yeah?
Isn't the Holy Spirit?
I saw it in your Lent thing, in giving up Lent. You didn't take anything away, but you added to by being nice, being kind, saying things to people you normally wouldn't talk to. Right? I think that's the Holy Spirit working through you. Go.
Isn't the Holy Spirit kind of like an advocate for people? It's like the one inside that kind of leads you to the right path of what to do and what to do in bad situations.
Yes, totally. And you always have a choice, right? Like God gives you free will, right? God doesn't make you love him, right? So there's always that yin and yang. There's always that, all right, am I going to get instant gratification here and make fun of that kid and make everybody in school laugh? Or am I going to try to help the kid out who's down and tell the bully who's making fun of him to shut up? It's choices like that you make, that the Holy Spirit helps guide you, yes.
People, I don't know how to say it, but that rarely ever happens with people.
It rarely?
So many people are just they're bad people.
They try to do, most people at our school,
they humiliate others just to get attention.
To get compliments.
How?
I don't know, they just like spread rumors about other kids that aren't that's not true.
Like if they see one thing happen to another kid, they'll spread rumors or like
They'll change up the story and make it look so much more worse than it really was.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing.
so they can get more popular for maybe other kids.
That's a shame. And now with the social media, rumors can get spread around faster. You guys on that? Do you guys do that? No?
I only.
Well, some might argue that that is the absence of God in people's lives. The lack of morals. You guys know what morals are? What you believe to be right. Like everyone has a code of morals. You know, I would never ever make fun of somebody, or I would never ever kick someone when they're down. That's a code of morals. I know, it's tough when you're around your friends, right? Because you want to have fun, you want to be accepted. It's tough. But how do you choose? How do you choose what to do and who not to make fun of? You know, it's hard.
Some of the people in my school, like, if you don't do what they do, they kind of think that you're weird.
Hey, being weird isn't a bad thing, man.
I know.
Being weird is okay. It's going along with the group just for the sake of it. That's where you go off the rails. That's where you get into trouble. If you're not true to who you are and you start following along just to be accepted and you're doing things that you wouldn't normally do, that's where you start getting into trouble.
I mean, if someone just says you're weird, that doesn't make you just weird. That just makes you that they don't.
You know what the best revenge, lack of a better term, revenge, is to not care what they say. I know it's hard. It's easier said than done. I'm not in your shoes. But I was there, and the best revenge is to better yourself and to help others when you can. You know, if you're trying to better yourself and people are making fun of you, they're not your friends, man. They don't care about you. Jake.
Well, the thing is, friends, you know, they tease each other all the time.
Right.
And you know, me and my friends were jerks to each other, like, make jokes.
And believe me, all weekend long, me and my friends were making fun of each other all weekend long. But it was to their face, and it was good-natured ribbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the good part about having friends, is making fun of each other. That's why you have friends. You can laugh at it. But where do you draw the line? When the other person isn't laughing. Right? I know it's hard, but that's why that Holy Spirit is there, trying to guide you, trying to push you in the right direction. Like, don't make fun of the kid. Be the one who stands up for him. You know, you don't have to get on a pulpit and start preaching to everybody. But if you do something nice, if you pull a kid out of the abyss, and someone else sees you do it, they're like, oh man, he really helped that kid out. Maybe they'll help somebody else out. And then they'll help somebody else out. You can cause a ripple effect. So let's go to our quiz show. Jake.
Jake, if you don't know this, man. If you don't know this.
Do you know this?
Yes, I
Yes.
do. That's coming from me.
Pentecost comes.
I'll take it if you don't know
It said in the video.
50 days after.
Bam!
Okay, yeah, because I know it was like after Jesus.
Yeah, it was like a week after Jesus, I think. The color the church uses for the season of Pentecost is?
Isn't it egg purple? No. Oh, it's red. It's a fire.
Like fire, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
What? Oh, for the
Pentecost.
season of Pentecost.
Pentecost, yeah.
Not the day of Pentecost. The day of Pentecost, you wear red.
Oh, okay. So when you guys are in church on Pentecost, we're red.
Because I always remember.
You'll get credit.
I always remember purple on certain holidays.
Where did Pentecost happen? Cole.
This is easy.
Did I not say this? Or did I say this? If I just, I don't remember. It's either. Oh wait, weren't there Jewish people in Pentecost? So wasn't it beef?
Nice. Pentecost, people heard the disciples.
Oh,
D. Bam. Jake. Pentecost is celebrated by the church as the day.
I know this one, please, please, just give me this one, please.
B.
Come on, you'll get this one, Jake. The Holy Spirit was.
No, it's not. It's not always that. That wouldn't make any sense. Around Jesus, around after Jesus, around before Jesus.
I mean, it could have been before.
Wait. Is it D?
I told you.
Dude, do you get this anxious when you take a test at school?
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, like I crossed out like one of the answers because I know it's not it, and then there's three and I was just sitting there, and I was just
Gotta go off the look.
no.
Are you like one of the last ones that turned your test in?
Yeah. Sometimes I just do like the me. Yeah.
Flip a
I
coin.
know the answer.
I don't think that.
I hate math.
Cole.
Dude, come on.
Last year I played Earth, Wind, and Fire for the kids.
I remember that.
Do you remember? Pastor probably was at the disco.
Is it,
That was kind of my era, wasn't it?
is it because it could be A or B. Or it could be D.
Come on.
D.
No.
Cow.
I thought you were saying a harmful word for this church.
Because there's both.
Holy Spirit is.
C.
Damn.
Just hanging.
All right. All right. Before we
I
go,
got a 50%.
we have a first communion class in here. And I need this place to look like nobody was in it. Okay? So kindly pick up everything. If you see any garbage, pick it up. And Jake, my actor, can you read for me today?
Yeah.
Can you read a Bible verse? Thank you. I'll give it here. You practice this. Everyone else, clean up your stuff.
How much
Well,
time
I
is
don't
it?
know. I don't know
You got
if
10 minutes.
I might
Can I
have
go
to
get-
go
can I go
home
get-
though, because I have a lot.
Let's make Tyler get rid of his anxiety.
You can read like
Opening it
all
in
the
front of
service.
everyone.
Yeah, after you read your just
Yeah. I can't read. My voice is gone.
Tyler should get it.
No.
Unless you can convince one of these two, but they did it last week.
Ah!
Yeah.
We did.
You ain't convincing me, so I don't need to try.
You want your post-it back, Phil?
You can throw it out. Please make the room look like it was brand new.
Where should we sit with the kids?
How many kids have we? We got like 6 or 7. We could go right here. We could have them like right there.
Okay, all
And
right.
then the parents can sit back there.
Okay, all right.
We're going upstairs, right?
Yep.
Wait.